There are moments in a relationship when something doesn't feel quite right. A quiet voice inside tells us that something is off, even if we can't immediately explain why. As followers of Stoic wisdom, we know this voice should not be ignored. It doesn't mean we rush to judgment or act out of jealousy, but rather that we calmly examine the situation with clarity and reason. Stoicism reminds us that emotions are powerful but must never rule over us. By staying balanced, we can separate temporary feelings from lasting truths. In this video, we'll look at 10 subtle signs that may suggest your partner carries a past filled with many experiences, and how these patterns could affect your relationship today. This isn't about blaming or condemning. It's about understanding whether your values truly align and whether the bond you're building is one of trust, respect, and depth. Love, at its best, should bring stability, loyalty, and emotional growth. But if red flags appear and we choose to ignore them, turmoil often follows. A wise man doesn't panic, he observes, reflects, and then decides. So let's explore these signs together, keeping in mind the Stoic principle: focus on what you can control, your perspective, your choices, your standards. Sign 1: ease with physical intimacy. The first sign to pay attention to is her level of comfort with physical intimacy. When two people share those first private moments together, it's natural to expect a mix of excitement, nerves, and discovery. But if she approaches intimacy with unusual boldness, confidence, or a lack of hesitation, it may suggest that she's been here many times before. Now, as Stoics, we must be careful. Confidence in intimacy doesn't automatically mean a long list of past experiences. It could also mean that she feels secure in her own skin, or that she's naturally expressive and uninhibited. The key is not to jump to conclusions but to observe patterns over time. Ask yourself, does her approach make you feel more connected, or does it leave you questioning whether depth is missing from your bond? If intimacy feels mechanical, rushed, or lacking the spark of emotional connection, it could signal that her focus is more on the physical than the relational. Stoicism teaches us to value balance. A relationship cannot survive on passion alone, it requires tenderness, loyalty, and shared values. If the physical side overshadows everything else, you may end up with desire but not stability. The wisest approach? Open communication. Speak to her about what intimacy means to you. Does she see it as a way of deepening your bond, or simply as pleasure? The answer to that question can reveal much about whether your values truly align. Sign 2: avoidance of emotional depth. Another sign to observe is how she handles emotional closeness. A fulfilling relationship is not built only on physical attraction, it thrives on trust, openness, and vulnerability. If she consistently avoids deep conversations, changes the subject when feelings come up, or prefers to keep things light and superficial, it may suggest that she's guarding herself because of past experiences. But again, Stoic wisdom reminds us not to judge too quickly. Some people take longer to open up, while others were raised in environments where emotions weren't freely expressed. What matters is not to label her silence, but to notice whether it remains a pattern over time. Ask yourself, when you share something personal, does she respond with genuine curiosity and support, or does she dismiss it quickly? A partner who resists emotional depth can leave you feeling alone, even while being physically together. The solution is not confrontation but invitation. Create a safe space where vulnerability feels welcome. Share your own struggles and lessons, not to pressure her, but to show that openness is strength, not weakness. If she gradually begins to meet you in that space, there is hope. If not, you must decide whether a one-sided connection meets your vision of a meaningful bond. Stoicism teaches that a strong partnership is like a fortress, both people must contribute to its strength. If only one partner invests emotionally, the walls will eventually collapse. Sign 3: inconsistent or vague stories. Another sign worth paying attention to is the way she speaks about her past. In healthy relationships, trust is built on honesty. While no one is obligated to share every detail of their history, repeated vagueness, contradictions, or sudden changes in her stories can suggest she isn't fully comfortable being transparent. If you notice that the same story shifts slightly each time she tells it, or that she avoids giving clear answers when you ask about her background, it may be her way of hiding something, or simply not ready to be fully open. As Stoics, our role is not to interrogate or accuse, but to observe calmly. Ask yourself, does her lack of clarity make you feel uneasy? Or is it just a sign that she isn't ready yet to share deeper parts of her life? One way to approach this is by setting the example. Share your own experiences openly, even the imperfect ones. Vulnerability often inspires reciprocity. If she responds by opening up, it shows willingness. If she continues to guard her past with silence or half-truths, you may have to reflect, can you build a future on a foundation where the past remains deliberately hidden? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, if it is not right, do not do it, if it is not true, do not say it. The same principle applies here. Consistency in words is a reflection of integrity. Without it, trust slowly erodes. Sign 4. Frequent last-minute cancellations. Time is one of the most valuable things we can give another person. In a strong relationship, both partners respect each other's time and commitments. But if she often cancels plans at the very last moment, or consistently reshuffles her priorities without explanation, it may be a sign of deeper issues. Of course, life happens. Emergencies, work stress, unexpected obligations. A Stoic man does not overreact to single events. But when cancellations become a pattern, it's worth reflecting on whether you truly hold an important place in her life. Ask yourself, does she rearrange her life to make space for you, or do you always end up adjusting your schedule around her? If you constantly find yourself waiting, rescheduling, or being treated as an option rather than a priority, this imbalance can erode the relationship's foundation. The Stoic approach is calm communication. Instead of accusing her, express how her behavior affects you. When our plans change often, I feel like I'm not a priority. I value my time and I want us to value it together. This sets a boundary without hostility. If she responds with understanding and makes an effort to change, it shows she respects you. If excuses continue and patterns repeat, you must decide whether your energy is being invested wisely. Remember, a relationship is not built on words, but on consistent actions. Sign 5. Frequent comparisons to ex-partners. One of the clearest signs of unresolved attachments is when she often brings up her past partners. Maybe it slips into casual conversation, or maybe she directly compares you to them, how they dressed, what they bought, or how they behaved. At first, you might brush it off as harmless storytelling. But if it becomes a pattern, it can quietly chip away at the foundation of respect in your relationship. Constant comparisons make you feel like you're competing with ghosts from her past, instead of being valued for who you truly are. From a Stoic perspective, the past is outside of our control. What matters is the present moment and the choices made now. If she continues to live in her past relationships, it raises the question, is she truly ready to build something new with you? The wise response isn't anger but clarity. Share your feelings honestly. I respect your past, but I want us to focus on what we're creating together. I don't want to feel like I'm measured against someone who isn't here anymore. If she respects you, she will understand. If she dismisses your concern, then you have valuable insight into where her priorities lie. Remember, a healthy bond is built when both partners see each other as unique and irreplaceable. If her eyes remain fixed on the rearview mirror, the relationship will struggle to move forward. Sign 6. Secretive phone behavior. In our modern world, the phone has become almost an extension of ourselves. It holds conversations, memories, and connections. Because of that, how someone treats their phone can reveal a lot. If she constantly keeps her phone face down, quickly hides the screen when you're near, or becomes defensive the moment you ask something simple about it, this secrecy might point to things she doesn't want you to see. Now, Stoic wisdom reminds us not to let suspicion rule our mind. Privacy is natural, and everyone deserves their own space. But there is a clear difference between healthy privacy and anxious secrecy. The first builds respect, the second builds doubt. Ask yourself, does her behavior around her phone make you feel secure, or does it leave you unsettled? Trust cannot thrive where there is constant avoidance. The calm response is communication. You don't demand passwords or control, but you express your feelings clearly. I don't need to see everything on your phone. But the way you guard it makes me feel like you're hiding something, and that affects my trust. If her intentions are honest, she will ease your doubts by being transparent about boundaries. But if secrecy continues without reason, it may signal that her loyalty isn't where it should be. Remember, in any strong relationship, openness and respect for trust outweigh the need for constant defense. When trust is missing, everything else slowly crumbles. Sign 7. Excessive focus on physical appearance. Caring about appearance is natural, we all want to look our best. But when it becomes an obsession, it may reveal deeper insecurities or a mindset shaped by constant external validation. If she spends excessive time comparing herself to others, fishing for compliments, or tying her self-worth entirely to looks, it can create an imbalance in your relationship. What begins as self-care may, over time, feel more like a performance for outside approval rather than authentic confidence. From a Stoic perspective, external beauty is fleeting. What matters most is inner character, discipline, and virtue. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that true value lies in how we act, not how we appear. Ask yourself, do her priorities reflect depth and growth, or are they centered only on being admired? A woman overly preoccupied with appearance may struggle to build a relationship rooted in emotional strength and long-term stability. The balanced approach isn't criticism, but redirection. Encourage conversations about values, passions, and inner qualities. Compliment her mind, her kindness, and her resilience, not just her looks. If she responds well, you'll know she values growth. If she resists, it may show she is more invested in surface-level attraction than genuine connection. A Stoic man seeks a partner who embodies both grace and depth, someone who values the beauty of the soul over the mirror's reflection. Sign 8. Reluctance to discuss sexual health. In any committed relationship, openness about sexual health is a sign of maturity and trust. If she avoids the subject altogether, changes the topic when it comes up, or becomes defensive at even a gentle question, it may point to unresolved issues or experiences she isn't ready to share. Of course, everyone has the right to privacy. But when it comes to intimacy, transparency is not optional, it's essential for both safety and trust. A partner unwilling to have honest discussions about this area leaves gaps that can weaken the foundation of the relationship. The Stoic response is neither fear nor accusation, but clarity. Approach the topic calmly. I want us to be open about this, not because I doubt you, but because trust in this area matters for both of us. If she's willing to engage, even slowly, it shows she values the relationship enough to build mutual security. But if she consistently resists, it may reveal that her past or present behavior doesn't align with the honesty you require. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to face reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. If important truths remain hidden, you cannot make wise decisions for your future. A healthy bond grows stronger when both partners can discuss even uncomfortable topics openly. Silence, in this case, speaks louder than words. Sign 9. Avoiding introductions to friends. Meeting each other's friends is a natural step in any growing relationship. Friends often reflect who we are, our values, and the life we've built around us. If she continually avoids introducing you to her circle, making excuses, delaying, or keeping her social life separate, it may signal that she's hiding something. Sometimes the reason is simple, maybe she's unsure about the future of the relationship. But other times, it can mean she fears what her friends might reveal, or that she doesn't want to merge her past with her present. As a Stoic, you should not react with insecurity but with awareness. Ask yourself, if she is proud of me, why does she hesitate to include me in her world? A partner who values you will want others she cares about to know you. Approach the matter calmly. Instead of accusations, express your perspective. I'd like to meet the people who are important to you. It helps me feel like I'm really part of your life. Her response will reveal much. If she is open, she will eventually welcome you in. If she resists without reason, it may confirm that something is being concealed. True love seeks light, not shadows. A relationship that thrives in secrecy rarely grows into one that lasts. Sign 10. Shifting priorities. Every healthy relationship is built on balance. Both partners should feel valued, respected, and prioritized. But if you notice her focus consistently shifting away from you, if work, friends, or distractions always take precedence, it's a clear signal to pause and reflect. Life will always demand attention, and no one can give their partner 100% every moment. But when you're consistently left at the bottom of the list, it reveals where you stand in her priorities. A woman who truly values you will make space for you, even in a busy life. The Stoic way is not to beg for attention but to observe calmly. Are her actions aligned with her words? If she says you matter but never shows it, then her commitment exists only in speech, not in truth. Communicate openly. Explain how you feel without accusation. I don't need to be your only priority, but I need to feel like I am one of them. If she cares, she will adjust. If not, you've gained clarity, and clarity is power. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean rushing to judgment. It means paying attention to patterns that can shape your future. Stoicism teaches us to see clearly, to avoid self-deception, and to act with both patience and firmness. A strong relationship requires more than attraction. It demands honesty, emotional connection, loyalty, and shared values. If these are missing, no amount of desire will fill the void. So remain calm, remain watchful, and remain true to your standards. You deserve a partner who respects your time, your trust, and your heart. Love built on honesty is love that endures.